I know it's just game one of the what is this group taking from last season of getting the early exit? What's your expectation for this year?
9 times out of 10, I'm going down low. Take away any of that backdoor shit that they were trying today. So the only option is like shots. But like in practice, I just don't want to do it. And then they were really happy. In a game, I'm going to go down.
If he's far enough out too,
Yeah.
and the guy back door is real tight, I got my stick there too. But if he's coming down, like if he's
I'm going.
if he's in a good shooting area, I gotta play him.
How would you describe the feel, the vibe of opening night? What do you think of the special night for you?
It's the first game of the season, so I think it's pretty self-explanatory. It's means long, it's excited to start a new season, so I think it's probably late.
Yeah, I think we're all looking forward to getting going. We're a long off-season for us, and we're looking forward to getting on the road together here this season.
I know it's been a game one, but what's the goals for the year? What's a successful season look like to you?
Well, I think that changes over time, but I think ultimately our goal is just to be the best team we can. We improve every day, improve off what we did last year. It starts tonight, but we have high aspirations for this group to ultimately win a championship. So that journey is ongoing, and so it's on us to go out there, play to our abilities, and again, it starts tonight.
Morgan, the CEO of Hockey Canada and the board of directors has stepped down today. What goes through your mind when you hear that?
Yeah, I just heard about it, and I think it's a step in the right direction. Like I was talking about the other day, I think it's okay and fair that people want answers and want action to be taken. This is one of those things where it's a step in the right direction. I'm sure there's more to come. And as a player, you just want what's best for people involved in our game, and so this is, like I said, a small step in the right direction.
What are you hoping that maybe this small step and other steps will lead to in the big picture type thing?
Well, I think just within the culture needs, a lot of improving. I think at this point as a player and as a human, when you look at our game, there's a lot of work to be done, and it's not a prideful moment for players. So I think that there's lots of work yet to be done. It's going to take time and a whole lot of work. But like I said, this is hopefully a small step in the right direction.
Well, Matt, have you been kind of, since the summer, kind of been looking forward to tomorrow night?
Absolutely, yeah. It's more nice where it all gets started for real. So there's a lot of excitement for me personally and in this room. We've been working for this moment, so it's exciting.
How would you assess how training camp has gone on the whole for you?
I think it's been a great camp. Guys are working extremely hard, and guys are focused. Practices have great pace. I thought we looked good in the exhibition games, so it's been a great camp.
I know you. Go ahead.
So for you, in terms of where your game is at, are you happy with the work that you were able to get done last 2 weeks?
Yeah, like I say all the time, I'm building. I'm just trying to focus on building one day at a time. I try to get a little bit better each and every day.
What's it mean to start the first game of the season? Sheldon made it clear he felt it was important to give you that first start.
Yeah, it means a lot, and there's definitely a lot of excitement for me getting that first game and just looking to get off on the right foot.
What's the rivalry mean to you, obviously growing up a Leafs fan, Leafs-Habs?
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. There's going to be a lot of excitement in the building for sure, both teams' first games, and I think we're all looking forward to it.
What's the feel from your family? Are they pumped as you are, more pumped, nervous?
How would you? Family?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everyone's pretty excited.
Yeah.
For sure.
You and Ilya discussed how nicely this lines up. You get to play the opener, his old team, and then maybe you play against your old team on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm focused on one game at a time, so you know, my focus is on tomorrow night, and what comes after that, you know, we'll get ready for that when it comes.
And how's the relationship with Ilya come along the last little while?
It's been great. You know, we spend a lot of time together. We're always on the same schedule, so we're working out at the same time, and you know, sitting beside each other, getting to know each other, bouncing ideas back and forth, and just talking man to man. So. It's been fun to build that relationship, and we're looking to, you know, keep going.
Your numbers in Montreal over the years have been excellent. Do you subscribe to the philosophy that sometimes guys just feel comfortable in a building, or do you see that more as kind of a fluke thing?
I don't know. I don't really focus much on that. I like I said again, I just take things one day at a time and try to put my best foot forward every time I'm on the ice. So I don't really focus on stuff like that.
What have you learned about John Tavares since you've been around him? It sounds like he's going to play tomorrow. Captain of the team, obviously a boost to get him back. What have you kind of noticed being around him?
Well, I've known John a little bit over the years, but getting to see him work every day, it's obviously, you know, evident his commitment and his leadership and why he's the captain of this team, and you know, his focus. You know, he's just such a solid player all the way up and down the ice. So that's why he's, you know, one of the top players in this league, and why he's such a great leader.
So 1 day later. How are you feeling? How are you trending?
Yeah, feeling good. I think you know, tomorrow looks good. So excited about that, and you know, the process that it's taken to get here. Not ideal, but you know, I think you know, medical staff, everyone get to this point has been tremendous. So a lot of credit to them, and excited that I can be there right off the get-go.
What does that night, opening night, mean to you? How would you describe the energy?
You know, the butterflies never change, no matter how many times you go through it. So, being from Montreal is nothing like it as well. So, it should be a blast. Starting another journey, and you know, like where our team's at, and our preparation, and the group that we have. So, nice to get going after a few weeks of hard work here.
How far behind, if that's the right word, do you feel you are because of the injury?
I try not to think about it a whole lot. I think just, you know, do everything I can. With what's ahead of me, I think it's best prepared as I can to be ready to play my game, and you know, obviously I believe in my game, trust myself. You know, a lot of work put in throughout the off season, before camp and the early part of camp before the injury, and then even just during the rehab time and you know, the past week here, the amount of time it's been on the ice, maximizing each opportunity to get myself ready. So, it is what it is. It's a long season, long grind, and just focus on being ready for tomorrow.
What told you that you were ready, John?
Pardon?
What told you that you were ready?
I think just the way I felt in the contact, especially with the group here the last couple of days, and the intensity of that, the physical nature, and how I've responded. I think afterwards, you know, it only continues to feel better and better. So that's a really good sign, and I think in consultation with the medical staff and just the healing process and those stages where that's at. So. All those boxes have been checked, done everything we could, and like where I'm at. So communication's been good, and you know, we both kind of come to that conclusion. So obviously really happy with it.
What does a strained leg feel like?
Pardon?
What does it feel like? What did that injury feel like?
Yeah, as I was explaining yesterday, it's a little different than the one I had a couple of years ago, where that one definitely, you know, really limited me in my range of motion for a good 2-3 weeks, and you know, even after that, even once I was strengthened, and just the amount of time it took to have it feel good and break down a lot of the scar tissue from the healing, and having it just feel strong and trusting it. This one has felt more like a contusion. That's kind of how it started. So even though we've had to treat the strain that's there, you know, it's not so much stretching it and whatnot. It's more when I was going through, especially in the first week or so, when it was kind of pinching. Me more so than feeling like it's limiting my range of motion or you know, twisting and whatnot. So all that's checked out, and it continues to get better. So,
John, it's another year where you and Liam are going to be paired up together. What's the comfort level there?
I think you know, our camaraderie off the ice. I think the way we've continued to get to know each other, our games, our personalities. You know, we're very different guys, I think, but there's a tremendous amount of respect and belief in each other. So on us to keep evolving, keep getting better, being more consistent, and doing what it needs to be done to help this team.
He says that you're a guy that's not afraid to get on him if he's kind of going through some down times in terms of his on-ice production. Is that coming? Does that come through time in terms of just feeling comfortable where you can say stuff to him like that?
Yeah, I think, there has to be trust there. He's got to know, who I am and where I come from and what I'm all about. So, I think it goes the other way as well. He pushes me to be better. And in saying that, I think he's very driven and wants that feedback. I think he's very open to it, and I think that's what makes our team wanting to get better, is the way we can push each other in different ways, and certainly when you develop a really good relationship with who you're playing with, those times to encourage each other and also just when to push each other.
John,
What changes it off Canada today? The board stepped down and Scott Smith is out.
Yeah, just heard the news. I think obviously step in the right direction, as it's been obviously difficult last few months and with the investigations going on and everything that's been around it. So, a fresh look. Obviously, some things that are being investigated that we don't want to happen in our game and our sport. So, important that the steps are taken, directions taken to, not to allow that happen again, and continue to make our game better in all areas.
John, Morgan was just saying that it's a small step, like you, towards improving the culture. What sort of big picture kind of improvements are you hoping this might lead to?
I think in all areas, just the awareness and the importance of, how the game can, better everybody, whether you're a player or someone that's involved in it, or you obviously interact with players or around it, and just the standards that have to be set, and the expectations of the way you conduct yourselves, not just as hockey players but as people. So, no doubt that's really important, and that it starts with education and understanding and learning all those variables and dynamics and the importance of all that.
Hey John, is that William your longest line mate? I know you played with Josh Bailey in Long Island, but I'm trying to think who your most consistent line mate might have been.
It's a good question.
Going in on year 4 now with William, right?
Yeah, definitely Willie's up there for sure, if not the most. I'm sure there's some stats somewhere that can dictate all the ice time and who I've had it the most with. I had Matt Molson quite a bit early on in my career, Parenteau, Josh Bailey there for a few years, Kyle Poso as well.
That kind of stuff help, like when you've got that consistency, where you know who's playing on your side?
I think so. I think, you just continue to have a really good understanding of, who you're playing with, just even the type of person. I think, chemistry is a hard thing to kind of describe or break down or understand. Sometimes things just click, and sometimes it evolves over time, or a little bit of both. But I think the better you get to know someone, the more familiar it only helps, for sure.
John Dennis, Logan's on your line as well, second time around the leagues. What do you make of him, and how he's changed since he was last year?
Yeah, I think the confidence in his game it was really shown throughout training camp in the preseason, and played fantastic. Obviously, can do a lot of really good things with the puck. Really quick. Fits in with our style of play, our identity really well. So I think he's excited about the opportunity. I think there's more comfort there. Being here, kind of second go around, so to speak. So excited about his opportunity and the chance to play with.
Isn't that any other time, or how are you feeling about it?
I wouldn't say it feels any different. It's start of a new 82 game season grind, and when you look at it as an 82 game season, it can be daunting. So that's why you just stay where your feet are, and today it's about practice and preparing for Montreal tomorrow, and we're going to get on the plane and go out there, and then just take it a day at a time, look to build positive momentum and keep building as a group.
What are your expectations for John? He seems like he's pretty optimistic about going tomorrow, all systems go. He did miss a good chunk of camp. Like, what are your expectations for what he might look like to start this season?
I think for any player that misses time, I would put Engvall in this category, and to a degree even Rasmus. They're a little behind. That's just natural, but they're all good players in their own way. I think you wanted them to go out and have a sense of what the expectations are structurally, and then try to keep their game simple and allow things to kind of fall into place, not try to do too much or make too big of a statement in your first game. I think you just go out and do your job and do your part for the team. That's really it. We have a very, very deep team and a very good team, so we don't need any one guy coming into the lineup to feel like they got to take on too much. And that's the nice thing about our group is that we can allow guys to come in and ease their way back in and take it from there.
How much of an impact will it have on the team having John, it seems like, available for game one when it seemed a few weeks ago like that wasn't going to be the case?
Yeah, I think it gives the team a jolt and a boost for sure. His talent and what he brings to our team and makes us that much more dynamic and harder to check and defend and all that. And then he's our captain, so having the presence of your captain right from the start of the season, I think is always good. Certainly better than not. And power play, all those kind of things right from the start of the season, everything is in place to sort of how you envisioned it coming in. So to that end, we're thrilled to have him back.
Matt Murray says it means a lot to start the first game. I know you mentioned that you wanted to get him that first game. Why was it significant to you to have him first game in?
I just think he's earned it, and at the same time, so has Rielly. But in Murray's case, he's the guy with more experience, and I think it's just natural for me to do it that way. Like we talked about yesterday, it just so happens it falls that Washington is on the second half of the back-to-back, and that maybe at least was cause or a reason for us to pause and think about that at least for a second, how that might affect Sammy and his mindset. But we just think it's important to give Murray the first game, and we're right to it. Murray gets the first game, Sammy gets the home opener. I think both guys have performed well and certainly deserve the opportunity to have those particular moments.
Is this in some ways maybe the strongest tandem you've had?
That's when I referred previously, I think it was the other night, I referred to the optimism that I came into the season with. We were well aware of the fact that both guys, we needed to really help get on track. But when I looked at the talent and experience, definitely to me, I would put it that way. I mean, obviously we've had guys with ability here in the past, but I look at Murray's time in the league and his accomplishments and the experience that he has in winning the Stanley Cups and being a part of great teams, and Samsonov, high first-round pick, and performed as a starting goalie in the playoffs last year. So you got two guys that I think really give us confidence there, and we had to really work with them to get them feeling good coming through the offseason into training camp, and they've delivered on everything we've asked of them. Now things are going to step up to another level, and we got to do our part as coaches and as a team in front of them to protect them and give them every opportunity to succeed. And that's really been our mission and what we've talked about, no matter who's been in goal here over the last couple of seasons. But these guys, I certainly wouldn't want to compare or anything like that to the past, but both guys give me and our team confidence coming into the season.
Sheldon, I think this is year 4 where John and William are lining up together. With every year, does the comfort level grow when you look at those two, and what makes them click when they're going?
I think it's just they're two very good players. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. I don't know if there's a whole lot to point to in terms of chemistry or anything like that, but I just think it's two very good players. You've got John, who's very good down low in the offensive zone. You got Will, who's very, very good and very dangerous on the rush and can bring the puck up the ice. So I think there's some complementary pieces there, but they're just two very good players, and they've had a series of different people play with them over time, and they've had to adapt and adjust to that. But really, to me, it comes down to the two individual players and how they're performing and how they're thriving, and both guys have a pretty good sense of where their game is at and what they need to do. So that gives me confidence as a coach that they're going to be ready.
What do you like about Giordano at the top of that second power play unit versus a guy maybe like Rasmus, who we've seen in that spot in different times?
Yeah, and I think you will continue to see different people at different times there. But in Gio's case, he's obviously got a lot of experience there, and we really liked what he brought to that unit when he came in last season. He's a little more willing to shoot the puck from the top and does a good job there of doing that. Particularly on this second unit, when they get out, they don't have a lot of time So having a little more of a shot mentality there is important. I think whether it's, you know, him taking turns with Rasmus and flipping that around a little bit, or them playing together, which will have 2D on the ice at different times. You know, we want to use both, but I think there's a little different skill set and certainly different experience. And you know, Gio being here from day one at camp and has worked with that group and all those kind of things, it's just a little more natural for that to just flow into the season. And you know, we'll continue to work Rasmus in.
What's the timeline on delivering?
Not certain on that. I know he skated and was pretty limited in what he's doing, both on the ice and in the gym at this point, given the nature of his injury. So that's something that's going to take time. In terms of the timeline itself, I mean, he's not in the cards to be joining practice anytime soon.